Hey fam, welcome to I Love Me Me Me. Today I am doing the requested video by Sharmina. So shout out to you. Thank you for sending in your request. Today I'm going to conquer the topic of what you should do when your mate loses the physical attraction and now the emotional depthness. So stay tuned. So let's start with the physical attraction first. The first thing that I want you to do is to pray about your situation and ask God for the guidance to help you with your tongue so you're able to articulate what it is that you need to say to your partner in a loving, respectful, and honorable way. So pray about your situation. The next thing that I want you to take in mind is the timing. The timing has to be right. A lot of times we have something on our chest and we just need to get it off. We have to get it out. And the timing is not right. He might be stressed about something. He might already be angry about something, and you are just adding fuel to the fire. So make sure that he is already in a happy-go-lucky mood, or the mood that that keeps him the happiest per se. And then the next step, which is I want you to sit him down and in your sweetest tone, with no distractions, have an open, honest conversation. But before you actually go into the bad, I actually want you to focus on the positive first. And what you're focusing on is what he's actually doing right. The reason why you're focusing on what he's doing right is because this actually is going to let his guard down. It's going to soften him, and you are letting him know that you are appreciative that he is a part of your life. So some of the things that you could say is that you are very appreciative that he makes you feel special, that he is a great provider for the family, that you are so blessed and so happy that he actually spends time with you. So those are just a few things that you can say. And then I want you to kind of come in and be as loving but stern and firm and just ask the question. And the question is, why are we not having sex on a regular basis? And then I want you to do just what I did. Be quiet and sit back and give him the opportunity to actually express why you haven't been having sex. Don't say, is it because of this, or is it because of that? Is it because of what? Don't give him an opportunity for you to actually express what it is as to why you guys are not having sex. You have to learn to be quiet and actually listen. So you ask the question, and here's what you do. You have to give him the opportunity to express himself. And because this is a new concept, he's probably going to be very uncomfortable and get very quiet because you have now put him on the spot. And most men are not emotional creatures. So it takes a lot for them to express themselves. It's going to take a lot for him to actually get it out. But I want you to also before you get quiet, because I need to back up. Before you get quiet, I want you to express in your most feminine way, because men respond to femininity instead of you going, why are we having sex? Why? What's the problem? Like, nobody wants to be talked to like that. So go in, be really sweet and open and ask the question, and then let him know that this is making you feel very unsexy or just not sexy enough for him any longer, and you want to know what's the deal. So again, go in and be quiet. Here are a few reasons. I'm going to give you a few reasons, but these might not be his reasons at all. I'm just going to give you a few reasons as to why some couples run into this not having sex. And also keep in mind that there are a lot of couples out there in sexless marriages or sexless relationships. Obviously, you're writing about this, so you don't want to be one of those people. But anyway, here are a few reasons. He could, if he's on medication that actually decreases the sex drive. It could be a high blood pressure medicine could actually decrease the sex drive. So that's one thing, just medication. Again, I mentioned stress. So stress absolutely can deter a man from becoming erect. Okay, so it could be stressed out. Another reason is maybe he wants to try something, or he wants to be more adventurous in the bedroom and you're not willing to participate. So that could be it. So now he's like, I'm over it. I want to do something else, but she's not willing to try. I love her, so whatever. Could be that you're not being adventurous in the bedroom. Another thing, this one is rare, but it can happen. He could have low testosterone. That is an easy check. So if you go to the doctor, he can be checked out to see if he has low testosterone. And the last thing that I want you to think about is could just be simply having sex with someone else. Now, I don't want to just throw that out there because that's not always the case. All men are not cheaters. Let me just throw that out there. So that might be the furthest thing from his mind. I'm just giving you some scenarios on why you could why you guys might not be having sex. So that's the physical, right? That's the physical. Give him a chance to express himself. Now I'm gonna move on to the emotional side, or the lack of the emotional depthness to your relationship. So I want you to think about a few things. I want you to think, has your guy ever been the most emotional guy? Meaning that he can express himself emotionally fairly well about several topics. So just think about that. Has he ever been like that? In my last video, How to Argue Effectively, I actually mentioned this, which was we groom our men actually to not be emotional men, because we tell them when we're grooming them, man up. Stop acting like a girl. Stop crying, right? So he has a fear of expressing himself emotionally now as an adult man. So just think about that. That could be it. Might not be, but it could be. Just throwing that out there. Also, I want you to think, have you made it a safe zone for him to be able to express himself? Think about it. Has he ever come to you to say, or give you an example of something? To say, oh, baby, I was thinking about doing X, Y, and Z. And your response was not favorable, at least to him. You're like, why would you want to do that? That's stupid. That's dumb. Who would want to do that? And so basically you're crushing his dreams right before his eyes. And maybe he's shutting down in that particular area, which is being open and emotional towards you, or showing that to you. Because men compartmentalize things, right? They don't really think in fluid sentences, sort of like we do. We can multitask. Women, I mean. We can multitask, do different things. But men usually compartmentalize what they need to handle. So they handle this one, right? That one's done. Then they move over here and handle that one. That one's done. Move over here and handle that one. That one's done. So we just do things completely different. So maybe he's shutting down because you didn't open up or make it a safe zone for him. So just think about that. But again, what you need to do is pray about that, right? And then have an open, honest conversation about what it is that you need and want. Because women need and want, and we thrive off of being emotionally connected to our mates. So you have to let him know that you want and need that. You need that in order for you to stay attracted to him. You also have to let him know that that is actually very sexy for him to participate in showing his emotional side. That's very sexy and very honorable. And you are actually appreciative that he chose you to open up to. Because we don't do that enough. We take it as a given. He should be doing that. But we're groomed completely differently. So give him a chance to actually express himself. Let him know that this also keeps you engaged and continuously falling in love with him all over again, right? Because he has to see some vulnerability from you as well. In order for him to be vulnerable, a lot of times women have to be vulnerable first in order for the men to see your femininity, because they respond to that. You're soft, you're women. They don't want you to be hard or coming to them in a very disrespectful manner and expecting for them to answer, because it just doesn't work like that. So just think about that. Also, I want you to remember that when you're having this conversation, and I want you to remember a few things. Remember that you have to be patient and loving with your mate. So as you're sitting there and he's quiet, before he begins to answer the why questions that you're asking him, remember that you have to be very patient, right? You also have to remember that the reason that he is doing what he's doing, or why he's doing what he's doing, is not about you. Also, you have to remember to detach yourself from the situation and set boundaries. So here's what I mean by that. Don't take it personally when he's giving you the answer. Don't take it personally, no matter what it is. And usually we take it personally when it comes off in a negative manner to us. So don't take it personally, right? Another part of setting boundaries is after the conversation. Actually, I'm going to move on to that. After the conversation, you have to give him ample time in order to show improvement. Now, ample time to you and ample time to me might be something different. So I think a good time frame is in between 1 and 3 months. 1 and 3 months for him to start showing consistent improvements on him being more sexually involved and more emotionally involved. Now, what works for me might not work for you. So again, you have to go with your time frame. Also think, is this a good man with these 2 flaws? Because when you're looking for a mate and somebody to connect with, you're not going to get 100% of what you're looking for. You're just not, because none of us are perfect. If you find someone that you connect with on multiple levels and there are a few flaws, that's somebody you should hold on to, because all of us have flaws. And you also have to think that you are probably doing some things that he is not so fond of. But because he likes you, because he loves you, he loves your company and your attentiveness and everything, he's willing to accept you for who you are. And that's what you have to do for him and to him. You have to be accepting of who he actually is. And after all of this has been completed, now you have to decide if you are willing to stay or go. We have to remember that the grass is not always greener on the other side. And again, you won't be in the first relationship where there is little to no sex, or at least up to your standards, or little to no emotional talk, or again, up to your standards. We have a tendency to always think that the grass is greener on the other side. So I just want you to really think about how good your man is to you and to your family. Because what he's bringing to the table, the next guy might not bring any of it. He might give you all of the sex. He might be semi-emotional. But the whole spending time with you, making you feel special, making you feel beautiful, taking care of the family, he might not do any of that. So think about, is this something that you can actually live with or live without, basically? And once you decide, again, after ample time has passed, once you decide, then you have to live with your decision. Because I can't tell you to stay or go. This is your relationship. You have to actually be the one to say, I'm going to stay and I'm going to deal with it. But also, let me just say, if you do decide to stay, you can't punish him because he's not as emotional as you want him to be, or his sex drive is not as high as you want it to be. You cannot punish him. If you decide that you're going to stay, you have to live with your decision and be okay and accepting of your mate just the way they are. Also, on the flip side of the coin, if you decide to walk away, you have to live with that decision as well and not punish yourself. The shoulda, woulda, coulda. So hopefully this has helped you out. I want you to take this in, and as I've been saying, to apply it to your life. And anybody else that's out there that's having these same issues, please take in the information. Apply it to your life. Also, is there something else that you could add to this conversation? Leave it in the comment section below. I'm sure she would love to read something that I'm not giving to her. I'm sure she would love to read them because I love reading your comments. Please put something in the comment section below if you could add to this. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share all of my content with your friends and family and on all of the social media sites. Also, follow my Facebook fan page, and I am now on Twitter, so that's at I Love Me Me Me, so ILMEMEME. I will see you guys in the next video. Two finger salute.